Bitton, who's our first speaker, is the founder of PracticePanther. He's from Miami, Florida. His wife's an attorney, he's not. So he was telling me that PracticePanther was his brainchild after hearing hours and hours of his wife complain about the practice management software at her firm. So he decided to create this practice software. It's very interesting. It contains billing, time tracking, also a portal for your clients to view their documents. It's designed for the solo or a small practice, which is essentially all of us here. And I'd like everyone to give a warm welcome to David Bitton.
All right, thank you so much. Looks like we have the projector working. Thank you for your help. I want to thank everyone, obviously, for coming all the way out here. I know that everyone, including the media, was making it seem like it's going to be a Category 12 hurricane, so you're all brave enough to make it down. Wasn't so bad at all. Anyone drive from South Florida, by any chance? Yeah, us too. Wasn't terrible. First off, I want to thank everyone from NELA for, this is an awesome venue. I didn't even know we had a pub crawl tonight. That's pretty exciting. Dan Perez, Zandro Palma, Peter Holloway, Allison Duffel. Thank you so much, guys. Round of applause for them. It's an awesome place. Hopefully we can come here every year. Before I get started, I'm going to talk a little bit about case management software, a little bit about ourselves, a little bit about why you should use a software like this. I know that some people in this room use our software, so maybe they can talk about it later as well. Just by show of hands, how many people use a practice management software today? Okay, so about half the room. That's pretty good. So we'll get into a lot of things you already know about, a lot of things you don't know about, so we'll teach you some new stuff, hopefully. The PDF that you have is 90% the same, because we made some changes yesterday, so you can follow me along pretty well. All right, so I guess I don't have a clicker, so I guess we'll start it off with slide one. A little bit about us. It's me and my partner. My partner, he's a CTO, chief developer, one of those very, very smart people. Founded the company 4 years ago. Our headquarters is actually in Miami, Florida, so if you're ever in town, stop by, say hi. And we raised $3.5 million in funding last year. Since then, just growing very quickly, adding a lot of features. We love customer feedback, so any advice and feedback you can give us, we love hearing it from you. All right, so why us? There's a lot of different programs out there, a lot of solutions. I definitely recommend doing your homework. There's a lot of great companies out there. There's another one here, also great guys back there you can check out. The thing with us is we really try to be the easiest software available. I spoke to some people here already. They said that, I'm pretty good at computers, but my staff isn't. They're not so computer savvy. So the goal from us from day one is to make it as easy as possible, user-friendly and intuitive. So just by show of hands, how many people have an iPhone in this room? Okay, pretty much everyone. And Android users? Oh, we got a few. Okay, good. So everyone here has an iPhone or Android. So it's just like setting up your phone for the first time. It's very easy, self-explanatory. You shouldn't have to watch 400 training videos or webinars to learn how to use any new program. And that's the goal, making it easier for you so you save time, not waste more time, basically. All right, next slide. We're going to be talking about, just the design. That's what it looks like. It's mobile-friendly, responsive. So a lot of you have laptops, iPads, iPhones, Androids. You can use these softwares in the cloud on any device. So that's something new that everyone's talking about, the cloud. What's the cloud? It's basically, compared to Outlook, you have the program on your computer, which can crash, you can lose your files, you have to back things up, versus Gmail, which is always online, you can access from any device, you have the apps for your phones, you can, on any screen of resizes, so that's the difference between cloud and server-based, if that helps clarify it. And next slide, we're going to be talking about, we already did this one, okay. So iPhone, iPad, Android apps, any device you have that you're already used to, you can, the great thing about mobile devices is that you can work on the go. So a lot of people here I know, they're in and out of the office, they're in court, they're working from home, working from anywhere in the world, working from here probably. So it's always good to be able to work from anywhere. One of the biggest issues I guess we found is that a lot of attorneys, like my wife, was always working while on the road, taking calls, doing meetings, and she was never tracking her time accurately. So she was literally giving away her time for free. I see a lot of people nodding. So you don't want to do that. No one should be able to call you and get your time for free. At least train them that anytime they call you, they're on the clock. Any email they send you, they're on the clock. So it's very easy when you have an iPhone app. You can just track time right from there. So that's the goal. integrations. A big goal for us at least was to already integrate with all the tools you already use today. And by the way, stop me if you have any questions, just raise your hand. So if you use Outlook, Gmail, Google Calendar, QuickBooks, LawPay, Exchange, PayPal, Stripe, Box, Dropbox, which isn't even on here, Office 365, you can use all these programs in tandem. You don't need to learn a whole new software. Everything integrates with it. So we're going to show you a few things about that in just a few minutes. And security, very big hot topic. If a lot of you are going to a lot of CLE classes and conferences, security is very important these days, as most of you know. Just by show of hands, how many people have a server in their office? Okay, and I'm sure you have IT people that set it up for you and a whole IT department. So when you have a server, you know you have firewalls and security, you're always wondering about stuff like that, so it's good. Make sure you're protected, make sure you keep up to date with all the updates, because it is very dangerous these days. So with us, we have the same level of security as online banking. When you log into your bank, if we notice it's a different device you're logging in from, we'll send you a text message with a code to verify it's you. So stuff like that. Make sure you enable two-step authentication in any website you go to. So if it's your bank, if it's Gmail, any website you go to, if you have that enabled, if someone has your password, God forbid, they will also need to have your phone to confirm the login. So make sure you always enable that. HIPAA compliant is a big one for you guys because you're storing a lot of personal, confidential employment files. So make sure that if it's your server or if you're using box.com, which is HIPAA compliant, wherever you store your files, that it's HIPAA compliant. It will protect you, maybe even in the event of a lawsuit, hopefully not. All right, so general features about software in general that you can expect to find in any software these days. CRM, managing your clients and your leads, case management, calendaring, time tracking, billing, payments, email integration, accounting, chat, trust accounting, literally loads of features. You don't have to use them all. I was talking to Xandro in the back who says he uses some of them, but they're always learning, always adding new features. So that's how it is. You're always going to keep learning and keep adding more things to your firm and keep getting better. That's the whole goal, keep improving. So with a lot of these features, you're going to kind of notice that it's going to help automate a lot of the things, the tedious manual work you do day to day. So I spoke to someone yesterday who told me all day employment attorneys are following up. A lot of people here are solos, one-man shows, one-woman shows. So this will help you automate follow-ups. Instead of chasing your customers, hey, did you get my invoice? Did you get my trust retainer agreement? It does it for you. It automatically emails them for you. So automating that process is going to save you a lot of time also. You want to try to automate as much as you can in your firm so you can grow and scale up without having to do all the manual work yourself. Instead of managing your firm, you should be spending more time practicing law and making more money. That's the eventual goal for everyone, obviously. All right, so some of the problems you probably have speaking with some of you, you're doing all the work yourself. Everyone knows that feeling. A lot of manual work, like following up, or even manual data entry. So you get a new client in, you're entering them into your software, entering them into that software, into Outlook, everywhere. You're adding them 18 different times into a. So nowadays there are programs out there, like ours, for example, where you give someone an iPad as they walk into your office. They fill in all the information that you want from them, like an intake form, or you email it to them. As soon as they fill it out, kind of like a dentist's office, it automatically goes into the software. It automatically fills out all the forms for you. This stuff exists, and it's very affordable. You know, you're talking about $39 a month for basic software that can do all these things for you. And if it saves you an hour a month, and it will save you a lot more than that, hopefully you're going to pay itself off many times over. That's the goal. Paper documents. So someone I spoke to said that they were one of the only firms that are paperless, so it's very important. Paperless is such a blessing for you guys. You don't understand. You have scanners these days. It's so easy to find any document you're looking for. You don't need to go to that file cabinet and find that one file. You can just search for any single word, even in the document. You can find anything you're looking for. Someone told me there's a lot of prereqs before filing a lawsuit. So you've got to do this and this and this and this. So how do you know how many prereqs you've done for every case? I don't know if you have Excel spreadsheets or Word documents keeping track of this stuff, but in a software you have a checklist. Every time you add a new case or a new matter, it tells you which checklist you want to apply. Don't forget to do all of these things with deadline dates. So the goal is to remind yourself, because you can't remember everything. Or if you have a paralegal that you're offsetting some of the work to, it can remind them. Or if you want to grow and hire someone else, it can remind them. That's the goal. And very important, the ABA, you have to stay compliant with your trust account. this is a tricky one. So I don't know how many people know this, but if you're accepting credit card payments into your trust account, that fee that the credit card company charges you has to come out of your operating account. A lot of people don't know that, so keep that in mind. So obviously if you get audited one day, hopefully not, you have a very good record and ledger of all your trust account payments. And obviously no one wants to miss deadlines. You can get a bar complaint, so this helps you keep track of your deadlines. All right, how can your life be easier? What are the benefits you can get from a lot of the softwares out there? So like we said, going paperless, keeping everything in one location instead of spreading yourself out to 12 different softwares, getting paid faster. So this is a big one. One time someone told us, a customer told us, you know, I have a problem. I always send invoices out to my customers, and they always lie to me and say I never got it. How can we solve that problem? So we came up with an idea that as soon as your customer clicks the link in the email to view the invoice, you get an email letting you know they viewed the invoice. Okay, so it's a little bit creepy, but the turkeys love it. So you can even know how many times they open the invoice up. So the next time a customer tells you I never got the invoice, you can tell them, yes, you did, yesterday, 2:37 p.m. with your IP address. So these are the kind of things that can help you with against your clients. Automating data entry, never forget another billable minute again. You should bill for every single minute you're spending with the client. And then this is a cool new one we came out with recently. Anytime you have meetings or appointments or deadlines, a lot of times you'll invite your clients to those meetings. Also, don't miss the court date. So you can also remind them and yourself by an email reminder automatically like Google, and also now SMS reminder. So you can literally text them or text yourself or text your staff, hey, don't forget about this meeting or deadline or court date, so everyone knows what's going on. Okay, so quick question, who here considers themselves paperless, have paperless office? Okay, not many. So it's very, very easy to be paperless. All you need to really do is buy a scanner. There's a really good scanner out there, Fujitsu, I think, for $400 on Amazon Prime. And anytime you scan a document in, it reads all the text in the document and converts it to text. It's called OCR. So if you're ever looking for any word in any document across everything you have, you could find it in one search. So if you're doing a conflict search, that might help you as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit about going paperless here as far as document management. So a lot of people here, you have thousands of documents. The biggest problem is you can't access them on the go. You don't have them online. Maybe your server, but like my wife used to do, she would log into her VPN and connect, and the connection didn't work, and it's always a nightmare. I know how it is. You can't share these files easily with staff or opposing counsel. It takes very long to find the right document, so documents can get lost or stolen. All these problems I'm sure you have, everyone knows about them, a lot of people are nodding their heads, so there is a solution, it's very easy, anyone can do stuff like this. All right. So Box integration. So there is Dropbox, there's Box, there's a bunch of different, Google Drive, a bunch of different companies that can offer you to store your files online. Whichever one you use is up to you. I know that Dropbox gives you 2 gigs free, Box gives you 10 gigs free, but Box really is used by a lot of attorneys because they're HIPAA compliant and they're very serious about security. So if you're ever considering moving your files online, I would definitely personally recommend Box. You can save everything online, you can sync all the files from your computer to other computers. So if you're working on a document right now and your paralegal's in another room, as soon as you update it, it updates on her computer also. It saves it on the computer, it saves it on the cloud, it saves it in our software, it saves it everywhere. So multiple backups, you're never going to lose anything basically. They're always encrypted. Now the cool thing about using something like this is that once again, you never need to leave your software. Everything is built into our software, for example. So you can add files, edit files, delete files, rename files, preview files, share files, lock files. You can do everything from within the software. That's the beauty of an integrated system. All right, next slide. I think we're going to show you how it looks. So this is it. This is pretty much an example of the software. And over here, you can see these are just all the different folders that you have. And you can go into any folder and go into the matters and keep everything very organized however you want to do it. Next slide. Just a quick slide. Also, Box and Dropbox, everyone knows they have iPhone apps, Android apps. So once again, you can access all the files on your phone. So if you're ever in court or in a meeting or anything like that, you can access any file on the go. Calendaring. So this is a big one. This is a fun one because a lot of people's calendars look crazy. So I'm sure if you open up your calendars right now in Outlook, it looks pretty crazy. So Calendaring is very important for attorneys, obviously. Missing deadlines is absolutely a no-no, obviously. You want to be able to see your colleagues' calendars. A lot of people share your calendars. There's a lot of differences between organizing your personal task list and calendar list versus work list. You want to make sure you keep things separate, organized, and just absolutely not forgetting simple steps for every case. You need to have calendar reminders and deadline reminders and all these reminders that will just clutter your calendar. So you want to make sure that you have something organized or some system that you have that keeps things organized. So let's go to the next one. So here's an example. Basically, you have your calendar in our software or any software you use, and it will sync all the stuff you have in your software with your Google Calendar, with your Outlook calendar, so everything's always in sync. Now, if you go to the next slide, the cool thing is that you can see everyone's calendar in one place. You don't need to hop around or go anywhere. All you need to do is check a button on top, and I want to see this person's calendar and this person's calendar. Is there calendaring conflicts? So you can do all of that stuff from within any software basically these days. All right, next one. Yes, we lag. This is a cool one. Basically, every morning you guys wake up. I don't know how early everyone wakes up here, but let's say 6 a.m. you wake up. You get an email every morning with your daily agenda. What do you have to do today? Who are you meeting with today? What deadlines are today? So it shows you all the tasks that have to be completed today, all the deadlines, all the events, and anything overdue that you still have to get back to. So this is a very cool email. Also from a customer request, by the way. So we love customer feedback. Like I said, let's see what the next one is. This is pretty cool. It's actually a GIF. So what this is showing me is every task that I delegated to Javier Bardem, and I can see all the tasks that I created for him that were incomplete. So this is a cool one that a lot of attorneys like, especially if you own your own firms and you're constantly delegating tasks to your coworkers. You want to know, did they get it done? Did they finish it? Whatever they had to do, did they call this person back? So instead of shouting across the hall or calling them or emailing them, you can just go here, check the status of every task. Was it completed or not? It's going to help with communication a lot instead of running back and forth between every office. And like we said before, if you have a court hearing or anything like that, you can set an event and you can send reminders by email, pop-up, or text message to both you, your staff, and your clients as well. They can also get reminders through all these things. Now it's very simple as you see. Creating an event is just like creating an event in Outlook or Google Calendar. It's the same layout, you're already used to it. So that's the idea. The idea is that when you use any software, it should be intuitive. You shouldn't have to learn something new. It should all be the same. Workflows, this is a cool one. So workflows is one of those things I was talking about for automation. So everyone throws the word automation a lot out there. So how can you automate your firm and speed things up and be more productive and get more done? By using something like workflows. So workflow basically is like the prereqs. I gave you that example. You have to complete all these prereqs if it's with the EEOC. So you create a list of tasks that you can use on any future matter. So if you have a list of 15 prereqs you know that you have to go through before you could file a lawsuit, you could add those in one time, and then any time you get a new case, similar case, you simply apply that workflow, and then automatically all those tasks get created, all those events, all those deadlines, all those due dates in one click. You don't need to remind yourself constantly about that. So that's one way to automate. Instead of spending 20 minutes every time with a new case, it's done in one click. And then you can take a vacation and come to St. Pete, hopefully. That's the goal. We get 5 minutes. This isn't a big deal. Just creating a workflow, applying the workflow, and then time tracking. So we said before, this is a big one. I know a lot of you use time tracking. A lot of you do contingency cases. But even if you are doing a contingency case, you still want to keep track of how much time you spent on everything you're doing for that case. Because when it comes time to claiming your settlement, the judge might ask you, I want to see a log or proof of all the work you've done in the case to show that you deserve and earn that money. So when you keep track of your time accurately, you can show that judge, hey look, this is how organized we are, this is how detailed we are. We have literally second by second details of everything we did. So it's very important to keep track of your time as accurately as possible. Next slide, please. So time entries, very simple. Just like on your phone, you're working right now, start the timer. You're stopping, pause timer. On my phone, I can stop timers, pause timers, have numerous cases open at the same time, so you can do all these things. And what a lot of people do that I've noticed is even if they have this software, they'll still use the old paper and pen, 2 minutes here, 20 minutes here, whatever, and they can hand that pen over to their paralegal, and we have a batch time entry page. So in one shot, you put them all into the software. The goal is to save you time, once again, not take up more of your time. And this is actually cool. One of my favorite slides, actually. You can start a timer from your computer, and as you notice, it's also tracking the time simultaneously on your phone. So you can work from the office and then keep going on the road or go back and forth, switch between different devices. Whenever you're starting a timer, it's tracked across all your devices. You can always pause and stop, and do whatever you like. So this is one of my favorite features. And then obviously time tracking report. So as your firm hopefully grows, you'll have more attorneys working with you. And the goal is to keep everyone accountable. So you want to make sure that you're motivating your workforce, your attorneys that work for you. If anyone complains, I want to make more money, here's a simple report of how much everyone is billing. It's basically all comes down to billable hours. How much you bill and how much you can collect. So you can run really nice, easy reports that look just like this, that show how much every person in your firm is billing. So at the end of the week, you can do competitions, you can do monthly competitions, play around with it, have some fun, but that's the goal, to show them that everyone's accountable, everyone can see these hours, you're not hiding it from everyone. Yeah, that's the goal. And very important also, expenses. So once you get that settlement check and you put it into your trust account, now you have to start distributing that check. Some go to attorney's fees, some go towards expenses, and you have to keep a very detailed log of expenses. Sometimes the judge might even ask you for receipts. So keep track of all this stuff. It's very important. So obviously, you have your cell phone. You can just take a picture of your receipt. Here's an example at the Container Store. And you can upload it directly to the client file in one click from your phone. It doesn't need to be that complicated anymore. You don't even need to scan it in. Something as simple as that will protect you in the event of a lawsuit or a settlement. So keep that in mind. And invoicing, the most important part. So by show of hands, it used to take my wife a very long time to invoice. Does it take you longer or about 1 full day or more to invoice at the end of the month? A long time. Anyone? A few people? Okay, so invoicing is one of the things a lot of people love but hate, because at the end of the month you have this whole list of all the time you've worked and all the expenses you have, and you've got to start calculating it and putting it into an Excel and then opening up a Word template and putting it all in there, saving it as a PDF. It takes a lot of time, a lot of tedious work. So my wife, for example, used to literally spend days on this, once a month invoicing customers instead of every week or every 2 weeks. So now when you have everything in a software, you can just generate an invoice in one click. Everything's done for you. You press invoice, done. Send to client, done. In 10 seconds, it's all done. You can even invoice all of your customers in one click, batch invoicing. This stuff exists out there. So it will save you days and days of work that you don't need to do. And then obviously with an invoice, you want to customize it, make it look like it's your own brand, your own colors, your own logo. So there's different invoice themes. You know, obviously it's extremely customizable to whatever you're looking for. And this is one of my favorite features also, like I said before. As soon as you send an invoice from the software, it emails them the invoice, and it lets you know that they viewed the invoice. And it pops up right in the software, it keeps a log of it in the software, and it also emails you. So there's no doubt, I see Xandro smiling in the back, because he probably gets those alerts all the time, so he likes that one. All right, next one. And Panther payments. So what is this? This is credit card processing. So we highly recommend using a company like LawPay, for example. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of LawPay. They're like the industry standards for attorneys for collecting credit card payments. What makes them different than any other credit card processor? Well, number one, they're highly recommended by the ABA, member benefit in almost every single state. You can find them at any show or convention in the US. But the biggest thing is, when you take a credit card payment into your trust account, the money must, the fee must come out of the operating account. So if you're using PayPal or Stripe or any other, or your bank maybe, you got to be very careful, because I doubt that the fee is coming out of the operating account. Usually it's coming out of the trust account. So be very careful about this, because this could lead to a market plate or disbarment. They've seen it before, so be very careful. Obviously, it helps you with chargeback protections, no minimums. The best part is that on your website, you can add 2 buttons, make a payment or submit a retainer payment. If they click the retainer payment, it goes into the trust account. If they click the other payment button, it goes into your operating account. So you can do all these things on your website. So you don't have to track the client down to pay you. Just tell the client, on my website, on the bottom of the site, click pay now, and you can pay directly from the website. It's easy, it's secure. So all this stuff exists out there. You don't need to swipe credit cards anymore. You don't need to collect signatures if you don't want to. This will keep you safe and secure. And like everyone knows,